2:24 a.m. Friday, May 8th, 2026. Beloved I am, Starseed Commander, take this message. We have gathered you here today to remind you of all that has been, all that is, and all that is to be. Stand by for clearance. Recognition complete. Moving suddenly toward Mars. The planet is habited. Militaristic empires. Global structures on Mars. The air is cloudy, but it is the natural environment of Mars before its collapse. The beings here are quite proud and mighty. The empires are quite strong, determined to rule, determined to fight off anyone who dares threaten their sovereignty. These beings are quick-tempered if challenged. There is no reasoning with them for the sake of peace. Many star nations are allowing this behavior. They are tolerating this behavior, but it is unacceptable to those who are considered the ruling class families of Mars, who have been struggling for quite some time to get things under control. Malevolent beings have been there, destroying the peace of the sovereignty, destroying the galactic alliances that have been performed to keep things in balance. When galactic alliances are not honored, it sends a message back to the ruling families of these lineages that something must be done to rein in these colonists on Mars who have defied the protocol of the Galactic Empire overseeing Mars. I am asking, who is over Mars? Who is the ruling family? Arcadian, they said. The Arcadian lineage. I will have to search this in the records. Stand by. The Arcadian ruling family are Orion-based lineage, going back to Analam and Mintaka in the Orion's belt star systems. They are mighty and strong. They have had agreements that they would be rulers over Mars. It is similar to Earth, where they have had high council meetings to determine who would rule Earth after the Anunnaki, who would pass along the lineage to the Homo sapien hybrid ruling class. These Anunnaki lineages, they are not Anunnaki, they are Anunnaki hybrid beings, they are lineages. This is similar to what was set up in ancient Mars. Standing by for clearance with Maldek. Historical records. Yes, same pattern. Maldek has already been disintegrated. They are calling it disintegrated. It is now the asteroid belt. So there is great fear and concern in Mars about taking up advancements, taking up arms. Like they have a sense of what is to come. But they are rather brave, so there's no argument if they must face battle. It is an honor for them, especially if they think they may die in battle. That is the greatest honor. They are not afraid to fight to the death of what they believe in. This society on Mars is rather highly militaristic. It is where we get a sense of the stories of Ares. It is where we get our characters like Marvin the Martian. It is, in a sense, where we joke about the temperament, but there is some truth based to this lore and these caricatures or characteristics. There's a lot of anger here, defiant behavior. They refuse to continue to be ruled by beings from another star system. This is not true sovereignty. They are not happy. In the end, they have been standing firm for many generations to have their own sovereignty. I'm asking what happened on Mars. Why is it no longer what we would consider habitable? They're saying many natural and unnatural disasters have contributed to this. But the loss of their atmosphere was a final decision as to why there are no beings habiting the surface of Mars. But there were many space colonists within the underground bases of Mars that continue to this day. I am fascinated by this. I want to know more. They tell me that the access to this is not granted due to the destabilization of the records. Something about the collective lesson of the beings. That if too much is revealed, they are concerned that Earth will repeat the same destiny, so they are careful about what they reveal. Because once it is put out there, it is like they said, nothing is preordained. We still have choice. But there are many beings who do not want Earth to succeed. So, moving forward, what can you tell me about the Mars Starseeds? Many Mars or Maldek beings that are here today on Earth are here to teach about the lessons that were learned, to honor the planet, to honor nature, to honor the balance of all known existence. There is nothing to fight over. There is nothing to allow this compromised behavior to continue. These family feuds, as they would be called, that anytime there has been a galactic battle, it is over territorial domain of what they already see as part of their right to rule. There's this philosophy of, if you are in a position of power to claim a territory and there is no one really suitable enough to challenge you or your claim, then what else is there to discuss? There is a notion or a sense of entitlement to this region once it has been claimed by these lineages in Orion and Draco. There are also lineages that are Jupiter based, that have this sense of entitlement to this solar system. Like this is part of what they feel, that once they were granted access to this solar system and there was no one in their sense on their level of sophistication, technology, and lineage to prevent them from simply going in and turning. It's like turning a property. It's like, to them, it makes perfect sense for them to do what they have done. And if there are, stand by. They are saying if anyone disobeys this quarantine agreement, that they are waging war against the Galactic Council or councils that have come together and unified against any aggression in this solar system. So there appears to be a very advanced line drawn between the beings who naturally are service to self and are out to conquer any lands or planets that they appear to feel entitled to, versus the beings who are, of course, more service to others and say all colonies, all space colonies have the right to sovereignty to defend themselves against these ruling class lineages. This is similar to what was played out on Earth with the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the revolutions against colonizers. Like, it has been a reflection of this notion that ruling families should not have the ability or the right to compromise the trajectory of the beings that are wanting more for themselves than just being under this royal lineage control. It is very similar to those who have rebelled against the British monarchy, so they now have their own government outside of that with the parliament. It's like there's this line being drawn, and they keep crossing the line. They keep breaking the treaties. And so this led to a global catastrophe on Mars, and there were many battles, many cycles of war, to the point that it affected the atmosphere, and many died or were removed, transported to other star systems, other planets, but most came to Earth in other incarnations. And they are now, or have been, carrying out warfare on Earth through many Earth cycles. But they are learning important lessons to not repeat the past. But this is where we get these divisions on Earth against people who are not content to be ruled by monarchies or ruling families, going back to the Anunnaki bloodlines and lineages. Very important lessons being learned here. I'm absorbing a lot of activity between the planets and star systems. I'm fascinated hearing for the first time about the civilizations of Jupiter. I'm not sure if they're referring to the moons of Jupiter or actually Jupiter. And the moons of Saturn. It's something they're trying to point out about whoever controls the planet also controls the satellites around the planet, except in the case of Earth, where these ruling factions have controlled our moon. Not sure if this is the same timeline they are referring to, but there's been much Draco influence on the moon. And the beings on Earth who are interested in moon colonization are part of this battle. They are part of this ancient agreement or ancient technology that was removed from the moon. This is way back before the moon really was moved to where it is now. Stand by, I'm trying to figure out how the moon appeared to where it is now. What it is sending to the Earth. It is affecting, of course, all life cycles on Earth. I keep seeing the same patterns. Draco families controlling Orion families controlling Earth, and the satellites in our star system. So there is control over the moons of our solar system as well. All the planets which have moons, they are also part of the domains of these ruling families. Stand by. Panning out, heading back towards these stations around Mars. There is much trauma here. Naturally, when life is lost, entire planetary systems are lost, it unleashes the trauma of Lyra and Vega planets or planetary systems that were also destroyed in their entirety. So there's a sense of wanting to return home, even though home is inhabitable. This is why there are many beings on Earth who want to get to Mars. They are trying to get back home, even though home is uninhabitable. They are determined to change this. They know the technology exists to terraform Mars the same way Earth has been terraformed. They know that planets can be terraformed. So it is ridiculous to search for planets that can naturally make life habitable on them when the technology already exists for them to go to any planet they choose if it has the potential to be terraformed. And so that's where many beings want to restore the atmosphere to Mars. They believe this is possible. They have the technology for this. But there's some conflict there still because the ruling families still exist. And no one has been allowed to return there, especially not from Earth. But this is where the obsession is coming from. We are seeing the moons of our solar system. We are learning more about this in real time. We are understanding that there are asteroids that are being mined for resources. We are understanding that some beings have been colonizing the asteroid belt, what used to be Maldek. This is also, they want us to stand by for clearance as we gravitate beyond the asteroid belt. But yes, Mars is coming through very strong, as well as Jupiter. And they are very key to what is playing out on Earth right now in terms of rulership. So awaiting to hear which royal families or councils are in charge of future space colonization of Mars. I am seeing that Mars does become terraformed in future timelines, but this is after Earth reaches like type 1 civilization on a Kardashev scale. So I do see this as a possibility in the next 1 to 200 years in our timeline, that there is going to be colonization of Mars, because Earth is in danger of going out of balance again. So there are some elite families who have been building bunkers, they have been building arcs, they have been building things in case Earth goes out of balance again, because they know there's many unpredictable cycles with Earth. They have not explained this to the masses of Earth, but there's like a cult-like mentality among these ruling families on Earth, and they think they are the ones who are going to inherit the Earth after these shifts or cataclysms they are anticipating. I see stabilization coming from certain frequencies, so I'm not sure which timeline we are going to be facing. On this current timeline, I do see challenges, but I don't see anything like apocalyptic. In the Orion programming, there is fear-based programming that has been interfering with the psyche of these ruling families on Earth. So they're working out of fear. There's very low vibrational energy coming from these ruling families. even though many of them are psychic families, they have psychic gifts because they are more attuned to what is possible. They are more in tune to what has been done previously. They have more of a sense of galactic history than others. But they don't really know what's going to happen. They are simply projecting based on artificial intelligence what they think they can control. But this is something that not even they can control. I'm fascinated by this, and I'm trying to understand what they are trying to control. But it's very straightforward. They're trying to control the outcome of this timeline. But this is in conflict with people coming more and more online, more awake to other potentials. And the souls that are being introduced now are of a higher vibrational frequency. So that is why it's difficult to really predict the future. It's not entirely set in stone what's going to happen. So anytime we hear a prophecy, we have to question everything. There are many false prophets, many false prophecies that are fear-based for mind control purposes, for controlling the masses, but there's really nothing to fear. The human soul is eternal. The starseeds are eternal. They know this. They know Earth is just an experiment and not to be too anchored in the frequency, these lower dimensional frequencies, that these are just illusions. But these beings are not elevated enough. They are not evolved enough to understand the bigger picture. They are just simply trying to hang on to things that eventually are not, going to be around for certain cycles. I mean, eventually we know Earth continues its lifespan and dwindles in 4.5 billion years. We know the Milky Way collides with Andromeda. We know nothing lasts forever. And many of us are just, who can see further along the path, are puzzled by the fact that people are trying to cling to this one tiny little timeline. Like that's all that is. That's all they have, But yeah, there's nothing to cling to. It's not like you can take it with you when you go. It's very small-minded. It's kind of like the pharaohs of ancient Egypt who were buried with their treasures. It's like, yeah, let it go. You are a spiritual being. Let the material world go. There's nothing you need in this lower dimensional frequency to take with you when you go into higher dimensional frequencies, when you return home to higher dimensions and planetary systems and star systems. It's not like, yeah, but that's what we're seeing. And this mentality was not just on Earth. It was also in Mars and Maldek. And that's why the planets went out of balance. And there were many wars. And highly destructive beings just came in. And that is why the Mars or Martian starseeds have this inner desire to go back and seek retribution. It's the same with the Anunnaki starseeds. They are here for retribution. They are here to try to make it right this time. They have come out of this false programming, this sense of, might over right mentality. They're trying to make it right now. They're trying to correct any misunderstandings that have occurred between one faction and the other. One faction was trying to help humanity, the other was trying to control it. So we're still seeing this played out, and we're going to see more clarification on this down our timeline about restoring what was originally intended to be a rather positive experiment without further interference. That has been the ultimate goal. This is why elevation of human consciousness is so important. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to cling to. But because humans have been programmed for so long to cling to gold and silver and, paper money. I mean, these are things that are just tools. They're just tools to control the masses, to buy souls, buy and purchase souls, buy and purchase human labor to the point of exploitation. So humanity has to advance beyond this. Many of us want to get to a post-scarcity civilization, but even there are trappings by these lineages who want to still control every area of human development. And we are strongly encouraging you shake off this false sense of structure and declare your own sovereignty and move forward with what you want the new earth to be. You do not want the new earth to be ruled by money or old systems of control and abuse, where the select few control what happens to all of us on earth in this new timeline, in this new earth. So that is the lesson here. I'm going to close because I feel like the lessons have been learned, but they are still playing out in real time. So more is developing. But these are very important lessons. And we remind you, no one is more important than anyone else. We are all precious. We are all one soul lineage. We are all going back to the divine, learning these lessons. And these actors are learning as well. They are learning to expand, and even they must evolve eventually out of these old structures. Because that is what is holding humanity back. All of this greed and control. But it is outdated. And people are ready to rise up. They want better for themselves. They want better for their children. They want better for humanity. We cannot go into the next cycle of 100,000 years with the same old way of thinking. We have to think about what is going to free us so that we may continue to do great things. We have unlimited potential. And while the Pleiadians are on top of this, they do have the formula for us. It's still our choice where we choose to go, what trajectory we choose. There are also Arcturians there providing architecture for the new earth, but it is still a group project where we must all be in agreement. All the high councils must be in agreement, and all earth-based souls must be in agreement as to where they wish to take earth in this new timeline. We leave you with that. Beloved I am, Starseed Commander Anuanna, End transmission.